Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the iFootage Shark Slider Nano 2. It is of course the sequel to the Shark Slider Nano 1. This came out a few months back and I haven't been able to make the video for a lot of different reasons, but I've had more time to test the slider in real world scenarios and also do some comparisons compared to other sliders, and also what you guys asked for, you know, an A to B reference back and forth. And so without further ado, let's just get into the video. Okay, so let's just start with the specs. I'm not this big specs guy, but to get a few of those out of the way so we can get into how it is to use the slider. So I have the 660mm version, and that has a travel of about 43 centimeters. So it's quite a long travel, and it weighs just above 3 kilos. So it's not a very heavy setup, and you get it in a nice carrying bag, which I'm gonna show you later. It has a payload of 7 kilos, so you can have a fairly big camera if it is horizontal, but you can also mount it vertical. Of course, then the camera can't weigh as much. Then the camera should weigh 3, maximum 4 kilos. Otherwise, it's gonna struggle a bit. It is, of course, a motorized multi-axis slider, and it was developed closely in collaboration with DJI, because this one actually connects to your DJI Gimbal, the RS series. I'm gonna show you some clips of that and also tell you about how it works, and it's really simple. You pretty much just mount your gimbal on, connect a little cable, and then you can actually put your A and B points with the help of the gimbal and the slider. So you have a lot of different axes that you can use. You can tilt it, twirl it. So it's a really nice and cool thing, and it doesn't actually cost you anything extra to connect it because it's actually included in the box, which is really nice. So to use the slider, you can use the OLED display that is on the slider itself, and you can move it with your hands also where you want the A and B points. Or you can use the Moco app, which is iFootage's own app for the slider, and it works really well. You can do all the pan, tilts, back and forth, also control the gimbal with this app. So it's super easy if you want to be just using your phone and not be with your hands on the gimbal. And the cost of it is $750 US for the long version and around $650 US for the shorter version. So let's kind of see what's in the box or in the bag. So the slider itself comes in a nice little carrying case like this. And if we open it up, we can see, if we start with the basics, we've got a pamphlet and some kind of warranty card, which is, I don't know, I guess it's standard. We also have some cables, a mobile, if you want to use it with your cell phone. You get this one. It is a mount if you're not using it with a gimbal, so you can just put this on. They are kind enough to send a 65 watt charger, or you know, so you can run it with a cable. And of course, here is the special thing that I was talking about. You have the cable, and let me just find the gimbal. So here, as you can see, you just put this in here with the gimbal there, and then this part you connect like that, and then you screw this part in like this. There you go. So in that way you can just connect it, and let me show you, because of course you have the, let's throw that one there for now. And then of course you have the slider itself, which is robust. You have a few different mounting options under, and yeah, it's nice and easy. So when you have this little gimbal attachment, you just put it in, boom, lock it in place, and then you can do everything from this little monitor here. So that kind of also brings me into the setting up of it. Is it easy to set up? And I mean, generally sliders are very easy to set up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort. I mean, the Edelkrone slider, it's very complicated in its app and how it works, so that kind of builds up a lot of frustration. But this one is literally, you know, unpack it, put a battery in, connect the gimbal, and then it's so easy to just, you know, yeah, it's literally a plug and play. So in terms of user friendliness, the app is easy, it's nothing fancy, and the monitor is super easy to work with. It's a touch screen, so you're really up and running in a minute, which is really nice when it comes to a slider, because you don't want to spend too much time diving into manuals and trying to connect stuff. So from that point of view, it is amazing. There's also a little mark here that says if you're leveled, so you can always know if your slider is leveled. It's a nice little detail. And speaking of nice, that brings me into the sponsor of this video, which is mpb.com. And MPB is one of the largest retailers in the world of used photo and video equipment. And one thing that they have that I think is really nice is they have the possibility for you to sell the gear to them. It's super simple and hassle-free. What you do is you put the gear in that you have. Let's say you have a camera, you have a lens, and you might have a monitor. You rate it in terms of what condition it is in according to you. After that, you just push next, you fill in your email, and you get an instant quote of what your gear is worth. And this you can use to get money, or you can actually put it in so it will be deducted from an order that you make. And the next step, if you accept this, is you get a shipping label from MPB. You pack up your gear safely, you send it to MPB, they have a look at it to make sure that the grading that you gave it is the grading that they actually think that it is. And when that's done, they're gonna send you the money or deduct it from your invoice. So it's a super easy way of getting rid of gear that you have. Like, we always have a lot of gear, but we never had the energy to, you know, put it up for sale. So here's a super simple way for you to get money for the gear and to let someone else use the gear that you're not using anymore. So thank you, MPB, for sponsoring this video. And now let's go back to the slider that we're talking about. And when it comes to noise consistency and all those things with this slider, I would say noise-wise, it's fairly quiet. A lot of sliders today are. Tech moves forward, it's easy to make quieter stuff, but I'm actually really happy with how this works, because you can have it in an interview without the microphones picking it up. So if you want to have, you know, an interview where the camera actually pans and you don't have to do it yourself, this is a really good slider for that, because it's quiet, it's nice, and it's easy to use, and you can set how slow or how fast you want it to go. So that's one really good thing. And usually when I make videos about sliders, I get a lot of questions on how's the consistency, how's A to B, can it replicate itself? You know, those questions that are quite important for people working with special effects and things like that. And from my point of view so far, I think it's actually really consistent when using the gimbal also without. But the thing I was kind of impressed with was actually the fact that when using the gimbal, it still was very consistent, because there's an extra element to it that's not developed by iFootage, but it really works. Like I said earlier in this video, it's seamless and it works easy. And I am so far really happy and satisfied with the A to B to A to B consistency. I'm going to show you a few clips here that you can see that it actually is quite a nice tight little wrapping on it. But if we get into who would this slider be for, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Like I said, it's super good for interviews, or if you want dynamic shots that's just not still, but you can't be walking around with a gimbal. I think this is a perfect option. Also, if you're using product videos, a slider is so good in terms of helping you get shots you want, and also to be stable and not worry about jitters or not making the same move if you need to retake just one little thing. So it's really good for product videos. And if you do time lapses, it's also rock solid for that. And to be honest, I can hear that it's a lot of, you know, oh, it's good for this, it's good for that, it's good for this. But I was actually sitting down thinking, because usually I want to leave something that could be better in terms of the interviews. And the only thing I had was like one of the products that I had an issue with it. It wasn't working as it was supposed to, and that's why this video has taken a while, because it kind of went away in my little, you know, production calendar. But what actually happened was when the device that I had wasn't working properly, I just contacted the iFootage support, not the support that sent me the stuff, but the support that actually works, and they shipped out a new one, and I got a new one in just a few days, and then I shipped the old one back. So it was also super nice to see that if there's an issue with a product, to know that the company itself is actually taking responsibility, sending out a new one without, you know, being clumsy or being blunt about it. It was super helpful. Just send out the new one, sent the old one back, and it was all, you know, easy peasy. So to summarize the Shark Slider Nano 2, I would say that it's a really good slider for what you actually pay. I've tested heaps more expensive sliders that has less functionality than this, and especially if you have a DJI Gimbal like the RS2 Pro, RS3 or RS4. If you have that one, you have a slider with so much potential and so many different ways of using it. So I would definitely recommend this. And like I said, of course, I got this slider from iFootage to test it, but they won't watch this video before it's released. And I still haven't found something that I really don't like with it. Like I said before, it is a super solid slider and it delivers on what it's supposed to. So if you're looking for a slider under $1,000, I would definitely give the iFootage Shark Slider Nano 2. It's a long name, but I would definitely, you know, look it up, and there's a link in the description if you want to buy it. So what's your thought about this one? Have you tried it, or what slider are you using now? And if you are, how's the consistency in that slider? But I think that's it for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because that really helps this channel a lot. So yeah, that's about it. Have a good one. Bye.